the way that this has been pitched for years and years and years, that crypto would be a safe haven and a great place to keep your money and make money if the stock market goes down. Clearly, that has not been the trend. We're down, my God, man, more than half, 50% since November for crypto.
I don't know. You want to bring up I have the chart available.
69,000, I believe. It was the high.
Okay, so
today we're hovering around, what, 32?
30, yeah, say 34? 32, 34, fine, whatever.
I think it's at 30.
Pick a day. I mean, yes, there was obviously these huge spikes here, but we all remember 2020, and you could have bought crypto at any point in time then, anytime 2019. I mean, we all remember the December of 2017 when we were finally hit 20,000. We were right around 20,000. Then we had this huge bear market where we thought it was over, trickled all the way back down to 3.
So this was, we're at 30. We're at 30 right now on the nuts for Bitcoin.
We're 10 times higher than we were December 2018. So I don't really think it's over.
So why did you get out then?
I think a year-long trend is a pretty good trend. And right now, the year-long trend is Bitcoin's down 47.5%. And year-to-date, it's down like 36%. And Ethereum, 1 year, it's down 42%. That means this time last year, and then year-to-date, since January, it's down 40%.
Which means we all got FOMO'd in this office. Every single one of us got FOMO'd at high prices, and we saw the rocket ship taking off, and we bought.
I actually got in low on this.
I did not.
We did not trust our real instincts of buying when we see red. And
speak for yourself.
Are you still in it, Delco?
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of Ethereum. Hopefully it's good by October because that tax extension might have to file another one.
Yeah, that's coming up in October.
I lied. I do still have my ETH2 that's staked away. And I will be buying more crypto. I'm not out on crypto. I just sold the crypto that I had at that time to then purchase other things.
Okay.
I'm just moving. That's what makes it so great, Ross. It can become items. It can become future values. It could become USD currency at any point in time. It's so liquid. It's great.
Oh boy,
I love it.
It's not great.
Just buy a house instead of Coin.
Yes, dude.
Yes,
I
because-
don't.
Get out on Jizz Coin.
Rates are so good right now for housing.
And I'm glad you brought that up as well, right?
Even a condo.
With all of this, rates are going up on houses. Crypto's down, stock market's down.
Well, the word on the street is that the reason the Dow is adjusting this way is because people felt like the rate hike was too low. They thought it should have gone higher off the bat.
They want it to go higher. They're waiting for it to go. This is what Bob needs. Bob needs people like me and Dan to buy houses now at this new ridiculous rate to then balance out the money that he's
But
made.
thankfully, my TJ McConnell Top Shot is still market value.
Yeah, there you go. Proud of you. Proud of you for that one. So the question becomes, what is it? And what is all of this? We've talked about it on the show for a year and a half now at this point.
Kinda.
With crypto. We've had all the crypto guys on.
But they've all just said bullshit. And they've all kind of talked in circles. And
well, I found it interesting. So the brothers that we had on the show, the Pomplianos, now they're just simply in Bitcoin.
I hate those dudes. The coolest guy we've had on to talk about crypto is the guy that you guys know who had to mail those hard drives in and get them fixed.
Richard?
Yeah, Richard.
Richard is like the best guy to talk about crypto too, because he doesn't talk about it like it's like money in a way. He talks about it like it's like a technology and leveraging a technology in a way.
Right.
And it's kind of how I feel about it too, and why I really hate Bitcoin, because just because it was the first evolution of this technology, there's been so many other iterations of it that are so much more efficient. This just has like brand and name recognition, as I don't see like how you can continue a push towards it. Like I see a place in the internet where that stored value, like the money that's been put into it, can be used in a way, but I don't see that this being our metric of moving funds securely and safely, because like all we're really talking about is making transactions between people safely for both parties. And it's what.
But that's not how the market is treating this.
Right.
The underlying technology has not had a massive effect on stock price, because Ethereum is probably the most promising underlying technology.
Possibly there's pieces of Ethereum's having to scale up and move to Ethereum too, because it was so slow, and it has to make all these upgrades of things that were bad, and they're having to revisit it.
For sure.
Let's stop lying to ourselves. The big problem is we think it's decentralized, but that is the biggest lie ever told. It's not. It's manipulated. It's these hedge funds. It's all these things, all these outside factors that can still control.
I can make a wallet with nothing. People can send money to it. It doesn't have to have my name or anything associated with me, and then I can move that from that wallet as long as I have access to it to somewhere else. That is decentralized to me.
It's not fully decentralized.
No, well, I think you're talking about different things. Like your ability to move your own money around is decentralized, but the market as it exists is certainly not. Right? Like, and that's
you just don't have to go buy it on an exchange.
Okay, but this is the point I was getting to, which is that the market has a huge the people that are heavily invested, including a lot of these hedge funds, can just by brute force move the market around, and that's not decentralization of currency, right? That's not what that is. So half of the people are talking about technology and what can you do with it. A lot of people are talking about it as a currency, and but most people treat it as an investment. Now, we do that with currencies. We also do it with technologies, but we don't do it at the same time for a technology and a currency, right? Because it's too volatile when you do that. There's too many fucking moving pieces.
Wouldn't that be like buying a stock, though, on our phone of a tech company? That's a highly volatile tech company, like one of these, like, what was the blood company?
Yeah, but it's
great. That's a great example. Neither of those are for normal people to invest in and tie their hopes and dreams into.
Like typically, like the expansion of the 401k market has been to get as close to a security as you possibly can, right? A security meaning that it's a guaranteed return, like a bond or something like that. Like I pay X amount, or a life insurance policy, I pay X amount, and at some point it will be worth this exact amount, right? And then I'll cash it out or with whatever penalties or all that's built in. We're now... And this is a problem that became an even bigger problem in 7 and 8 with the housing market crash, and then the years after that, where we think of some of these things as securities, and they're not. It's like what Delco's saying. Like people think of it as this, but that's not really that's not what it is necessarily, and it's certainly not how people are treating it. It's because they want quick money. A lot of these people just want to make quick money, and that's going to have an effect on the market. And people that are heavily invested in the market and thereby have more control of it are going to take advantage of dumb people who want to make money in the short term. That's how that works. You know what I mean? That's how the stock market is basically the lottery for the lower middle class.
You can call Elon Musk by his name, Dan.
Yeah.
And he does this all the time, and has been doing it.
Look,
it's a fucking pyramid scheme.
Yeah, and this is.
And I'm not saying that that's what cryptocurrency is or where it stops or what it could be. I'm saying that is how it's treated by the people who have the most capital to influence it.
And speaking of your tech stocks, by the way, I'm going to read you the numbers here for the year, okay? Because they're frightening. Netflix is down 71% on the year. Snapchat is down 50% on the year. Facebook is down 41% on the year. Uber is down 47% on the year. Amazon, of all fucking companies, which... I use that goddamn thing 90 times a day, so does everybody else in the neighborhoods around me. It's down 35% this year. Disney is down 30% this year. Tesla is down 33% this year. And Google is down 21%. Now, Google, I understand because of the censorship on YouTube, and I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, what's the year to date?
Here's my question, though. Like, you're not really a good fucking investor if you're worried about even like 1 year over year, right? Like you need to be investing in companies like that long term. Like
pull us up.
Right. For most of the people, right, Bob?
Boom.
Right. So you're talking about the dummies are getting fucked.
Right. And not only just the dummies, but like let's say it's people who are gaining a higher salary for the first time in their lives, and they're looking to put some money into the market. Those are the ones who are getting fucked. The long-term investors,
all their money right now.
I understand that, but for now, for them to achieve, let's just say they bought this year at Jan 1, all right? We'll start it this year. And you purchase the companies that you believe in, and a lot of these are on my list. Like Google, Tesla, Disney, Amazon.
Following this model, Ross, say you came into money and you wanted to get in the market, you invested in those companies that you believed in. following any advice that any market person tells you, which is not my own advice, that is not financial advice for me. You invest what you can slowly over time. You'll continue to invest in those companies. Again, right now, you're just getting more of them for cheaper.
But with inflation that is happening right now, people are spending more on gas, more on food, more on everything else. They need this money. So these little investments, it's going to fucking burn people down. And I think the overall consensus, at least from everybody that Dan and I have spoken with, is like a crash is coming very, very soon.
You can't be selling your stocks to buy gas. Like if you're doing that, you should not be buying stocks.
But have you seen what gas prices are at? People do not have. People aren't. They're not going to have a choice.
It was $7 in California.
There's always fluctuations in liquidity in this lower level of investor class, but it's not just dummies getting fucked. Like people are having, what you're describing is people are having their liquidity stolen from them, basically. And it's not just about people who may not be able to afford the risk or whatever getting involved. It's not just about that. It's about there is a finite amount of this stuff. And like they're not just buying up, they're not just buying or getting the currency from the dummies who are losing it. They're buying up more market share. Right, and this is what happened with the news media in America. Like all the newspapers got bought. There's 6 companies that own every single fucking newspaper that has any level of circulation in this country. 6, right? There's 4 companies that own all the media companies that own all the news agencies and video.
We did that story a few weeks ago.
And they bought all the magazines. They bought all the newspapers. They bought all the news stations. And now there's a single source of influence, and that's not the market as we refer to it, right? That's not the market functioning as it is. So it is a stranglehold on that, and that there's what's coming back from that, like BlackRock and Vanguard and all these companies. I mean, even Tesla owns like $3 billion worth of fucking Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like there are major companies all over the place that own the majority of cryptocurrencies that matter.
I will also say with the market, I think we got a little bit of a mirage during the beginning of the pandemic when everyone was cooped up in their house and they just wanted to feel part of something. They wanted to get involved in something that, they quit their job. They want to start playing the market.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of created a little bit of a boom that was not sustainable.
I didn't think about that. Like everyone wanted to become a day trader. Like everyone put like day trader in their like Tinder profile.
Oh yeah, dude! I just watched that AMC doc on HBO. Remember when AMC went to the moon and, GameStop as well? And we were stonks, dude. We were stonks crazy. We did it on this show. Made a fuck ton of money.
Some of those YouTube channels still exist because of the dudes who would just like talk and follow.
Those guys were, by the way, the guy was in the documentary. 2 of those guys were in there. The one who has the YouTube channel, who sat on that fucking GameStop for 2 years. It was pretty remarkable to watch, but I think that has part to do with it. The other part too is like, you've been one of the biggest advocates for crypto, Giorgio, and you're currently out.
I'm not out. I mean, I still hold Ethereum too, which is Ethereum token that I have staked away that I can't touch, sell, trade, or do anything with. And they promised me that I'll get to do something with it in the future, and I said, okay, you can have some of this money. I'll figure out what I'll do in the future. Kind of like what you did with that Cybertruck a little bit, where you're just like, here's some money.
Well, it was $100. So that was $100 risk. And I know I'm not getting that goddamn truck for 2 years, but $100, sure, I'll take a flyer.
This is happening the way that all new technology happens, though. And that is to say, people with large amounts of capital or the people who developed the technology will do well. There will be a few outlier companies that are not companies, but individuals, whether it's a company or an investor, who are early adopters who, through either foresight or luck, make the right moves and make a lot of money. And then everybody else will be mopping up the rest. It's just like the internet.
Can we talk about that new model though, Dan? How like everyone is like a crowd-funded product now, like everything. Like you just are on like a wait list. You get announced, then you get to sign up for it, then you get to pay for it, and then that just says in what order in a year that you'll get this. And it has to be a great time for a business. Like you don't even have a product. Like
it is and it isn't, right? I mean, you're going to have more businesses that look viable for longer than they really are. Which again, we're not just talking about dumb or unlucky people losing their money and getting taken advantage of. We're talking about larger portions of that particular section of the market being captured by people who have the intention of digital feudalism, which is to say, let's keep us and our buddies rich, and everybody else, you can go work at SAP or somewhere and develop the technology that does something with this, but you can never own it yourself.
Right.
That's where this goes. Every single time, no matter what technology it is, from the Industrial Revolution to forward, maybe before that. Go read The Master Switch. It's a good book.
And the other, is that by Tim Wu? Master Switch?
Yeah, by the way, Chris Williamson still has my copy of it.
I was going to say, it's no longer here.
Text him.
And we should bring the Woo button back to the soundboard.
Yeah.
Woo! I would like to have the Woo button back.
But this is going to happen
back.
it's the same thing is happening, by the way, with the housing market, right? BlackRock and Vanguard, these other companies buying up properties and converting them into rental properties. Mm-hmm. All this same shit is happening in every fucking single part of the market.
So we rise up, Dan.
Well, it feels bad out there, for real. And we're in Austin, one of the hottest housing markets there is. And I'm seeing a lot more houses sit for longer. We were just like, all right, how far away are we from this?
In my neighborhood, there's like 3. Like a couple of them have been like
for
renovated.
sale.
Yeah, so some have been like they want to sell you like the house plus the overpriced lot. Some have already torn it down and like built up the huge behemoth, and then some have like kind of like.
Let me ask you this: have they sold yet?
No.